Oh my gosh, for the past 24 years now, we have led a program on holistic addiction and recovery that covers everything from alcoholism to food addiction to smoking to opiate addiction, spending addiction, sex addiction, you name it. We've covered it all, and we still do. And it's a holistic addiction recovery program, which is really, really different than most other programs you're going to face. But one of the things I wanted to talk about today was the fact that too many times we fall victim to belief systems that really aren't accurate. And one of the biggest ones is that our genetics is the cause of our alcoholism. And it's really not true. And you can go ahead and throw all the studies out there in the world that say that genetics causes alcoholism, but it's not true. And let me get right off to the start of proving why it's not true. Any disease that's caused by genetics can only have a cure that is medically based. Let me repeat this. Any disease that's caused by genetics, if it is caused by genetics, the only cure would have to be medically based. So if you look at cystic fibrosis or you look at anything else, type 1 diabetes, we don't have programs out there for type 1 diabetes unless people are on insulin or some very similar medication. Does that make sense? And it's and type 1, not type 2. Type 2 is caused by lifestyle, but type 1 is caused by genetics. So people have to be on insulin or some similar product in order to control their diabetes type 1. Well, if alcoholism was caused by genetics, then the only people that could ever recover would have to have some kind of medical intervention like a surgery or be on some type of pharmacological agent in order to cure alcoholism. Good news. Neither is necessary. Millions of people recover from alcoholism every day without any medical intervention. As a matter of fact, I know when I was trying to get sober, I tried every drug available, and there's quite a few that say that it can cure alcoholism. I mean, pharmaceutical agents. And nothing ever worked for me. What did work for me was surrendering to someone else's program and doing what I was told to do in regards to holistically changing. And that might be a combination of energy work and brain chemistry supplementation and deep emotional work. Do you know what I mean? It's like we know there's a cure for alcoholism. Here's the great news. Those other statements like once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic are false. Now, a lot of this information was created 80 years ago. People bought into programs that were created 80 years ago about once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. And unfortunately, because of mass consciousness, that when you get a group of people that believe in one thing and they spout it all the time, the general population has a tendency to go ahead and to continue to promote that even though it's 80 years old and it's not valid. The other problem with buying into this notion that alcoholism is caused by genetics is that it gives people a foot out the door. So in other words, if they relapse, they say, well, it really wasn't me. It's not my fault. It's genetics. I have a genetic cause of alcoholism. So if I relapse, it's not on my shoulders. It's on my ancestors. Does that make sense? Now, I'm going to state this again. The good news is millions upon millions of people have recovered and recover every day completely from alcoholism without being connected to genetics. Now, here's the caveat. There is a genetic link, but the genetic link has nothing to do with the cause of alcoholism. Let me repeat that. There is a genetic link to alcoholism, but it's not the cause of it. If a person has the gene for alcoholism and they ingest alcohol, yes, that gene could get turned on and they have a hard time stopping after 1 or 2 drinks. I agree with that totally. So there is some medical connection and some genetic connection with alcoholism, but it's not the cause. When a child is born with the gene of alcoholism, if they do have that gene, they don't crave at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 16 alcohol. Now, they may drink it and get hooked on it, but they don't crave it. It's not like that there's a genetic link that says you're going to want alcohol. Let's go back to comparing diabetes type 1. When someone is born with diabetes type 1, within a very short period of time, they will need insulin injections to have the body operate efficiently, effectively, safely. Do you see the differentiation here? And listen, I don't mind being one of the many people in this world promoting the truth about addiction. There are many doctors who are on my side. There's millions of doctors more that aren't, but that's just because they haven't caught up with the reality. When you say that your alcoholism is caused by genetics, I'm going to repeat this, you have a foot out the door. You have a reason to blame that you didn't go out and drink on your own, that your genetics made you. That sounds a little insane, doesn't it? I used that excuse to keep me addicted to alcohol for years. Thank God there's a way out. If you want help, go to our website, talkdavid.com, and you can find our course, Holistic Addiction Recovery. Now, let me tell you something else. All these people that spout these quote-unquote facts that alcohol is caused by genetics, their programs have about a 10% success rate. If you're talking about high-end treatment centers, like very expensive on a monthly basis, if you're talking about 12-step programs, and I'm not against treatment programs or centers because I went through one for 30 days. It helped me immensely. I'm not against 12-step programs. I think that there's several parts of 12 steps that are healthy. I think there's a lot about 12 steps that aren't healthy because it's never been updated. But I'm not against either program. I'm just saying we need more than what we've been taught up to now for people to continue to recover and to get healed and not have an excuse of why they relapsed again. If you need help, go to my website, talkdavid.com. Look at our Holistic Addiction Recovery Program. It's underneath this little banner that says specialty courses. You can read all about it. Our success rate is 50%, which is huge compared to the average of 10% in our industry. I want to help as many people as I can. I'm going to continue to get these messages out there because there's a way out of addiction that has nothing to do with leaning on your genetics as a reason why you're an addict or an alcoholic. Let's keep that faith. Follow people like myself that actually have huge success rates so you can find the same. Okay, I'm David Essel. Have a great day.